I'm Grady.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Charisse.
And welcome to Highlights, your unofficial but official stop for all Star 7 information. We are covering episode 8 today, and as the season wraps up, the stats are getting very interesting. So before we get into the scoreboard and see how everybody stacks up, let's review how we got there. Previously on Drag Race. Last week's episode was Santa's School for Girls, an interesting challenge choice. But it was an acting challenge where all of the girls had to play in a skit involving Santa's School for Girls. Trinity, for coming out on top, gets to assign all of the roles, and she's pretty diplomatic about it in a way. She's kind of like, what does everybody want to do? Except for one person. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And I was a little surprised. It turned out okay, but I thought this was a weird choice.
Isn't this alliance something?
Yeah. So everybody kind of picks a role. Everybody's okay with what everybody picks except for two people, and that's Monet and Jinx, who want the exact same role, which is Miss Toe, Camel. And they do a couple things, so they make them audition for it, which turned out to be meaningless because Trinity, after forming this alliance with her twinner Monet, just gives it to Monet, even though everyone clearly thought Jinx outperformed her, as she would have in any role, probably.
Right, because they did their little audition.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And everyone knew that this role was for Jinx.
Yeah, 100%.
Not that she can't play any role, but this role was meant for her.
Right. And I do, they do this thing where I do feel like they kind of prep the roles and the character descriptions for each
Jinx
queen.
Always plays an old lady.
Yes.
Jinx always plays an old lady. I feel like Evie Oddly should have been Scrooge.
Okay, I see that.
I feel like Raja fit into one of the Mean Girls set based on the Heathers and the Boogers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't quite sure where I thought Monet fit into the group, but I guess that means she's part of the three.
I think Monet would have made a good Mary.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Holly, because it was a smaller role.
Yeah. I mean, but if she wanted to do a role that was a big role and allowed her to really be risky and flex her acting muscle, that would have been a good role for her, I think. Because I think while she did well in the Miss Camel Toe role, I think that Mary would have been a good choice for her.
Yeah. Or I don't know if it's because Jada kind of underplayed it, but I could see her in Jada's role just because it was kind of like...
So,
oh yeah, I could see that.
I was just going to say that too. Like, I think Jada might have been miscast, and maybe Jada was supposed to be one of the Mean Girls. Maybe Jada was supposed to be Holly, and Raja was supposed to be Mary.
Yeah, and Jada, I think, given somebody with a little more personality, would have known more what to do with it. However, where we end up is the following. Vivian cast as Headmistress Nutmeg, Shay cast as Noelle, Evie as Mary, Jinx as Holly, Trinity as Joy, Monet as Miss Camel Toe, Jada, Hannah, Raja as Scrooge, which is short for Lisa. Filming, so things are always a little different filming than when we get the final product, and so while they were filming and we're jumping right to it, right out the gate, I thought everybody was good, kind of except Monet. Is that weird?
No, I would agree with that.
I would agree too. She was really the only one who really needed a lot more direction. Her and Trinity, actually. But Trinity, I don't know. I guess I didn't really notice that much with Trinity because she was already trying to play dumb, but she didn't really need to play.
Trinity
to be absent.
That was said with love. That was said with love. Please don't think that was not said with love. Trinity is a powerhouse.
Disclaimer.
Like, Trinity is an amazing drag queen. Amazing drag queen. Like, I underestimated her, and that's my fault. That's my fault.
Trinity now holds 10 wins, which is crazy. More than anybody ever in the franchise. Like twice as many as the person in second place below her. Crazy.
I do think right out the gate, not because she didn't act very well, but I think Shay struggled a little bit because the Viv was doing so well in their scene that they shared.
Yeah.
I think she struggled to stand out, but I don't think she did poorly. I just don't think she did as well as the Viv.
I even thought Jada did well. It better than what we ended up seeing, if that makes sense. Like it seemed like it was going to go better than what we got finally cut together. Rue's look going right to the main stage. I liked it. I thought the makeup and the hair was absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, everyone looked amazing this week. Judges, guest judges, Rue, everyone. Michelle's sleeves. Oh my god, I love Michelle's wardrobe this season is just over the top fantastic. I love her.
You were a fan of the sleeves?
I
Sleevegate 2022.
love to see a little bit of skin through some lace, and then to have those sleeves be tucked and ruffled the way that they were to create so much volume. And then her hair and the curls in the front, she just looked so good. I don't know. I'm totally a fan of old school, a little bit of lace. Like lace is one of my favorite things. I can't help it.
No, it's okay. I don't know what it was.
You don't have to agree with me. It's okay.
I think if they were tighter to her skin, maybe, or something, I don't know. I would have liked it better, but they just looked a little bulky to me. No?
I think if they were not quite as sheer, a little shorter and bigger, I would have liked them more.
Okay.
Ooh, Zach, yes.
There we go.
A little more of a princess puff to it, and then like the laces like a line, like a on the fringe.
Yeah.
I would have done a little more for me, but I guess I got what she was trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. We'll allow it. Our guest judge is Janexa Bravo. And I probably should have referenced her more during the filming because she was a great director.
Great
director.
Yeah. And actually direct and be
set.
Yeah, and direct and be a guest judge because I hate it when they don't do that, when they don't do both. But she took the whole thing very seriously during filming, on the main stage, the whole way through. Like she was there. And I
Absolutely.
really
She was so
appreciated
involved.
her.
Absolutely. Great leader on set though. Like I was just so like, oh, can she direct every single one of these? Please. Like I need this.
100%. She was so great.
Yeah.
Miss Bravo. Yes. Okay. So the runway prompt this week is Nitty Nitty Bang Bang. And
We love you. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I sing the song every time somebody said it.
That's why. See, and that's why. Like, I hate this song so much.
Oh, I used to love that movie.
So...
It was on the approved. It was on the homeschool approved list, so we watched it all the time.
Oh,
and I love it that Noelle was a homeschooler in the skit. I love that they keep referencing homeschool. Like, I cannot get enough.
Representation is important. I'm glad we're finally getting there. Yeah. The homeschool community has been just overlooked
finally
far
getting
too long.
represented. It has. It has. Who even knew that there were jump rope championships?
I know. I just wish the role had been played by an actual authentic homeschooler. Just for
there are a lot of
address
us.
that next season.
But we're kind of hard to find sometimes, although we do stick out.
Well, it's because you're at home.
Right. Still so true.
Oh, God.
I'm just really glad my parents weren't those ones that like dressed us up in matching outfits and like we all had to be color coordinated and like wear red shirts so that our parents all knew where we were when we were at like family trips and stuff. Like,
Oh,
it wasn't that
God.
bad. I would have
that.
lost my mind. No, it's okay. It's so
we wear
cute when
matching
you do
shirts
it
all
though.
the time.
It's so cute when you do it. You're only a family of 4. It's cute when you do it. It's creepy when there's like 18 people and they're all wearing the
Like a
same shirt. And I'm
compound.
like, are you guys in a cult? Just kidding. There's only a few things wrong with cults.
We thought it was cute. Even our shoes matched.
No one go look at Grady's Instagram.
I know.
No. But yours are, they're not just like 17 red shirts that are super itchy from the cheap aisle at Michael's that have like puff paint on them. Like, do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't. I'll try
I
to
do
find
love a
some old
puff paint
pictures.
shirt though.
I'm not for sure. It has to be done right. But yeah.
I thought they were cute for Star Wars celebration.
They were great.
They were great.
Yeah.
They're
They were a
super cute.
serve.
Especially the Easter. I appreciated the Easter one so much.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. We did that too. We do it a
We
lot.
we lived.
We did. We stand for it.
Anyway, the runway this week was.
Oh, I'm terrible.
Now that I've been attacked, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm feeling really attacked.
Nitty nitty bang bang, all knitted looks. I'm never gonna recover from it. I'm gonna think about this every time we buy these outfits.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because I love them in family photos, but not when it's just like all the time because I have so many kids I can't keep track of them unless they're all wearing a bright yellow shirt. Like, that's creepy.
Okay, so for
Nitty
my
nitty
son's
bang bang.
birthday, I made everybody wear shirts that identified
Stop
who they
digging,
were.
Cherie. Stop.
I know.
Sorry,
I
I'm gonna put myself on mute. Here
I mean, all my in-laws wear these shirts that identified who they were. Anyways, we were at Legoland. It was made out of Legos. Anyways,
In solidarity, Grady, we will get matching shirts with our animals, and we will all have matching shirts.
thank you. The first up was Vivian, who wore this really awesome white knitted gown. I thought this was a cool concept. I did think, I don't know if it's because it's so heavy and she hadn't really moved it a lot, but she comes close a couple times to having the jujube problem where the split in the front comes up way too high.
Mm. I think she did mention that it was super heavy and like really hot.
Mhm.
she did mention that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it looks really
I
good.
thought it looked gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And for such a thick yarn to come out like not looking so bulky was amazing. Like, whoever constructed this garment did amazing.
I want a bathrobe like this just to be that level of extra.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Poolside.
Yeah, like if your loungewear isn't this extravagant, are you even living?
I would have to
Yeah.
agree. If you're not this comfortable when you're lounging, are you really lounging?
And if you don't have a
True.
matching one for every member of your family,
God
are
damn
you
it.
even a stand?
Look.
They could all be in slightly different hues.
Whatever. My family will be
It's
super
okay.
glamorous.
Cameron doesn't know. I'm going to make him take matching pictures one of these days. He's just not down for it.
Shay is up next. And this I thought was a really cool concept and I really appreciate it. Shay does a lot of cultural stuff that I think is really awesome and important. That being said, I didn't know how I felt about this. I still don't really know why. I don't know if it's the bowl on top of her head or what, but parts of it just I felt looked hodgepodgey, for lack of a better term. Does that mean?
For me, it was like the tubes on her legs. Like I loved the look overall.
Yeah.
But like the colors of like the tubes and stuff on her legs, because it really gave me the same vibe that her crown look did when she came out in that really cool.
I loved that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gave me the same vibe as that, but I think like those like tubular things on her legs were a little off-putting. But overall, I really like the look.
It is a little heavy on the bottom with the leg
Mhm.
warmers,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I really liked it. Shay's concept, the way that she interprets the runway is always so different from everyone else. And I kind of figured everyone was going to come down the runway in like a Viv type gown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is not that at all. Like
Right.
this makes her stand out. Like even when they're all standing on stage together, she totally stands out. Like,
Yeah.
my name is Shay and I came to slay.
Next was Evie Oddly, and this was very Evie, but I liked it a lot.
So see, I was on the fence about this one. So I liked the concept of this look, but when she turned and it was like the bare chest with like those like knitted ball tassel things on her nipples, it kind of threw me. If it was more like a flowy gown type, I probably would have been more into it. But the makeup and like the flow of it, absolutely fantastic. It's just the chest part threw me a little bit.
Is it because it was so heavy and the pasties are not really moving compared to the rest of the garment has so much movement?
Maybe, I think so.
Because I really appreciated the androgyny of all of it.
Mm-hmm. Very
I
Evie.
really liked, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. And definitely without the pasties and maybe just one button done in the middle, maybe we would have liked it better. I thought it was cute. It's very Evie Oddly. I loved it that she was the defender against the yarn invaders, for sure.
Mhm. And
So
the
you
headpiece
always-
was so cool too. I love the
Yes.
headpiece.
And the wig. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Next up was Jinx, who came out in this sparkly gown, and it looks very pretty. My note says cool, I guess. I just feel like, and we said this when we were watching it, but Jinx has a specific style. However, that style doesn't have a lot of variety to it. Whereas
Right.
people like Shay, for example, also have like a very specific style, but can do lots of different things in that realm. And I feel like Jinx just doesn't.
This would have looked really immaculate if we hadn't seen this silhouette and type of dress on Jinx so many times before.
Mhm.
So it kind of just takes the edge off of it looking so great when it's like, well, we've seen this, it's just knitted now
Yeah.
and sparkly.
Absolutely. And even though I love Jinx Monsoon, I'm really tired of this silhouette. Like, I'm glad that she gives us one. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. This yarn is beautiful. I don't know where she found it. This is beautiful. I love her little wrap, but I definitely, like you said, maybe it was last week or the week before, Grady, you feel like Jinx always gives you a character on stage when she's on the runway.
Mhm, mhm.
And I feel like she does too. Maybe I just feel like it's a little bit less than people like Jimbo or like a Bag of Chips, maybe. So maybe I don't notice it as much. I definitely notice it on the runway, for sure, hands down.
Next up was Trinity. And I absolutely loved this.
This was cute.
Mm-hmm.
I was all about it with little doll and everything. I was all
Yeah.
about it.
It was great.
I did not expect Trinity to come walking down the runway in this at all. And even Trinity said, my ass isn't out in this, but I still look good.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, you're right, Trinity. Your ass isn't out in this. That's so strange. I love this. I loved the wig. I loved all the little leopard print touches all the way down. Trinity, like I said before, I totally underestimated her. She's such a performer. She's such a hard worker. Get it.
Trinity is a powerhouse. Whether it's on the
Uh-huh.
runway or really leaning into what she does best in challenges, whether it's like her specific characterizations, she knows herself. And I think that's why she does so well in challenges. And I think that's why she's going to do really well this season.
Yeah, that's enough about her.
But she did cast herself correctly, because Trinity is Joy and Joy is Trinity. Like there was
they're the same person.
They are the same person.
Trinity's always the best when she can just be herself.
Yes, she shines.
I'm a mouse. Duh.
Exactly.
I love Nog Egg. Anyways, next up was Monet Exchange. And my note for Monet just says, K.
Yeah, this is, like we said when watching, this was very pedestrian.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cute, but it's not elevated to the level that other people on the runway are doing.
Correct.
And honestly, Monet said that she said she was the bad bitch in kindergarten. And for me, I'm like, but Jada was way better of a bitch in kindergarten on the runway than you were.
You were the girl who thought she was the bad bitch in kindergarten, but no one else did.
Yeah.
You know, Monet is like the opposite of, in this regard, of Trinity, in that she takes herself way too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's able to see and mold herself to situations because of how seriously she takes herself.
Next up was Jada Essence Hool. And I thought this was adorable.
This was super cute. This was like right up there with Trinity's. Like I thought they both kind of had birthed these outfits from the same vein, like idea vein. They were both very, very cute, but they were unique in their own respects.
I want this. I want this as much as I want a robe made out of the Vivienne's yarn. Like, I want this so much. But especially that super long pashmina scarf that she's just dragging around with her. I love this look. I love the big comfy couch. I love this whole thing.
All right, we agree. Yes. Next up was Raja. And my note says, yes, space knitting.
This was out of this world. Like she said, she was 3PO, and I was here for it.
I love
She took me there.
Oh, it's so good. It's good. I wanted to weep.
This is what I expect from Raja on a runway, and she did not disappoint. I was gobsmacked, goop, gop, and gobulate. I was all over it.
Yeah, in a very different direction than anybody else went, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. A completely different direction. I liked it. I feel like...
Go on.
I feel like I've seen this look from Raja like maybe 4 or 5 times already, as weird as that sounds. And I don't know if that's true or not.
For original season, she had a gold outfit.
And I would absolutely agree that this is a way elevated version of her gold outfit from her season.
She's doing a lot of referential stuff to herself this season.
She is absolutely self-referencing a lot. And I appreciate it. And I love how elevated this is. I don't know. Maybe I've seen the gold boots too much. Maybe I've seen the gold boots too much this season already from her. I don't know. I feel like I've seen these gold boots a lot. And I liked it except for the gold boots. Like, just like Jinx is getting a little overdone with her silhouette. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it. I didn't really have... Like, what's so strange is I really like this runway, but I don't have a favorite, and I don't really have a least favorite. They were all just kind of like, all right. I mean, yeah, like I said, except for Monet, she kind of looks like she doesn't really belong in the lineup when you see them all together on the runway. But beyond that, yeah. I love this episode. It was fantastic. Oh, God. This runway just wasn't my favorite. It wasn't like last week. Last week's I was just kicking my heels all week long. It was amazing.
Remember, on highlights, we do not judge drag. Drag is art and art is subjective.
I'm It's
Yeah.
okay.
We're here
I
to judge
already
your
know.
drag as it applies to this challenge.
Wow.
Okay, so Raja C3PO. It was good. It was good. It was
lived.
probably the best on the runway. And I'm not even like taking personal bias as far as like I'm just being a hater this week. 'Cause
Without
what
without
she
that bit
said.
of
I'm just
recording,
kidding.
it's gonna look like we
Yeah.
took you out back and beat you until you
I
said something
know,
about it.
I know. I'm so sorry. I just needed to purge a little bit. Now I
It's
feel
good.
better.
It's gonna look like we
Oh.
Joss Whedoned you. Like your career will be over.
For sure. But we're on Zoom. You're nowhere near me. Can't happen.
You get back on there and you see like
True.
We'll
But
write your character
Raja-
out so fast.
Then we actually get into the Santa School for Girls, the finished product. And watching it back, I've made some decisions.
Dun,
to
dun,
me,
dun.
to me, Vivian was great. Jinx
Yes.
was phenomenal.
Yes.
I wasn't mad about Evie either. Raja, I felt did well. She wasn't a bad actress at all. She really leaned into the role. We'll talk about this in a second. Monet was bottom for me, but she wasn't bad. Nobody was bad, I felt, really. Jada also.
That's true. No one was bad.
Yeah, Jada also, not that she was bad, but I felt like I kept forgetting her and what she did. Is that weird? So for me, if there were a bottom two, for me it would be Monet and Jada.
I'd agree with that.
I wasn't, for the most part, yeah. I wasn't super happy with Jada's choice of going with all of the, like, literally every single quintessential nerd, hunched shoulders, taped
Right.
glasses, this and this and this. Like that, like, as someone who is a nerd, like, that gets old. Like, I'm
Is
over
it
it.
very triggering?
I'm a bitchy nerd. So I felt like Evie's Mary was kind of strange. Like I wasn't 100% sure that I bought it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sold that that version of a queen bee would become a queen bee.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like she was good, but I wasn't sold on like that character.
Yeah. I wasn't mad about it. I liked moments of
Mhm.
it, but is she top? No.
I wasn't, for sure. I wasn't mad about it. Did I cackle, laugh through this? Absolutely, both times. But the person that I cackled, laugh for was never in the top. So it was kind of confusing for me.
Okay, so people who placed high were. This is where I have maybe some disagreements.
Go on.
Tell us more.
So Jada placed high. Trinity placed high, which maybe okay. Vivian and Raja. Our top two, Vivian and Raja. Here's where I disagree. So after dissecting this, not that anybody doesn't deserve to be in the top. I feel like many people could have been justifiably in the top. And that's great. And I'm really glad Raja was up there and got another star. Great for her. And I love Raja.
But
So it made me happy. I did not think she was top two, though, for me. After really thinking about it.
I
No?
totally agree with you. But I agreed
Okay.
with you. Like, I agreed on Friday night. I was like, how did Raja end up here? Like, the Viv, absolutely no question about that.
No
She did
contest,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
She did great.
I'm
I-
thinking it's the
Like you
runway,
said.
I guess.
Yeah, because if you broke it down, like if I had to pick the tops, I probably wouldn't have I would have swapped Jada and Jinx because Jinx did so well in the acting portion, but then not quite as well in the runway. And then Raja did so well in the runway, but didn't shine quite as well in the acting portion. So it's like, I don't understand what critique they went off of to choose their top two, which makes it really difficult to ascertain
Right.
where they're really going with their judging and how they're selecting their top twos.
I've been kind of wondering that this entire season. And to hear you say that so succinctly, I think that's the problem. Like, for us, most of the time, they're judged on their acting challenge, right? So they would be judged solely on Santa's School for Girls and then get points, maybe a few points added or a few points detracted, depending on what they wore on the runway.
Correct.
Is how I interpret things as an audience
Correct.
member most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for this season, I feel like everything's kind of out the window. And it's just RuPaul's favorite of the week or RuPaul's favorite of the month, or I'm not really sure how things are getting judged and graded. Because for me, I feel like Jinx absolutely deserved to be in the top this week.
So Vivian and Raja lip sync. I forgot what they lip sync to, the song.
That Rick James song.
Oh yeah,
Freak.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Freak.
They lip sync to Super.
And Raja knew the words.
Yes, she did.
It's true.
Go
ahead.
on.
Sorry. I feel like the Viv seemed to kind of struggle in the lip sync. Like she already knew that Raja had won. Like I feel like partway through, everybody just started making comments, and you could see it on the Viv's face, kind of like she almost looked to her contestant, her peers that were watching. Like when Monet said that Raja was turning it and stuff, like it almost looked like the Viv got distracted a little bit and like lost some of it. I don't know. It was kind of tough to watch the Viv in this lip sync.
I felt like she
Like,
did
my
too
heart
much.
broke.
Yeah,
My heart broke for her.
she was doing too much. She flipping, rolling water bottles,
Wet t-shirt contest.
Yeah, and then she slips and does all this other stuff. And it's like, okay.
And then Janixa points it out, like, nice save. Oh no, please don't say that out loud. Like that was the only part where I was like, no.
So Raja wins this time. Great for her. She wins $10,000 and the power to block. And she blocks Jada Essence Hall. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. On one hand, I think it's smart, but Jada very diplomatically and very, very intelligently pleaded her case to the workroom, saying, well, maybe I'm already, based on the math, maybe I'm already in the top 4 and making it to the finale, so why block me? I do
Which
think
is really
bonus stars
smart.
are coming. Yeah, I do think bonus stars are coming. So I think there's a chance she could be wrong. But very, very smart. And people went, ooh.
Jada's campaign this entire season so far
Yes.
has been fantastic. As far as her entire campaign not to get blocked has just been cracking me up. It is the best side story of the season. And she's so diplomatic about it. And her reasons are so just matter of fact. And then she just takes a little sip of her House of Love cocktail. Just I'm loving it. Loving it.
Okie doke. Time for top tweets. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. So, Raja earns her first cash prize of $10,000, which is great for her. So she's finally on the board for some winnings, which is great.
Congratulations, Raja.
Everybody loves a little bit of coin. Getting into the stats and the legendary legend stars. Jada's still in first. She has 3 stars, which is good. Second, this is where things get weird. Vivian and Trinity, which means Vivian and her war against Jinx. Just over the top a little bit. They're at like a push and pull with each other, where they one up each other every week. It's very interesting. So Vivian and Trinity are tied for second. Jinx and Raj are tied for third. Evie still in fourth because she's the last of the group to have 2 stars. Shay and Monet at the bottom in 5th and 6th.
No.
I know. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. There's only 4 left.
I think Shay's done so well in so many different challenges. And like you said, Zach, there have been certain times where I'm like, how did she not get in the top 2? Like, I've been so confused.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Poor Shay. And she was really feeling it this episode when they were talking to her. And she was like, she had that conversation with Monet, like, we thought we were going to be here. And especially because they did so well they did so strong right out of the gate. And then, womp womp. And now we are 3 challenges away, and then the finale, which is just the lip sync battles. So, I don't know how this is going to go.
I'm just saying, I think that Shay deserves to be up there too.
Yeah. Although to
I
be
just
fair,
don't know how that's all going to work out.
I know these bonus stars are coming, and they're going to need them. Oh, it's going to be interesting.
This was a fun episode.
I loved this episode. It was so good.
This was a super fun episode.
One of my favorites. Okie doke. Well, if you would like to check out any of our past or ongoing coverage of All Star 7, you can check that out right here on the PG Media channel. Subscribe today so you don't miss out. You can also follow us on social media if we post there. And you can find that information in the description below. And with that being said, as always,
thank you for watching highlights.
And we'll see you next time.